Hello, and welcome to the film. Please be respectful for others by silencing and putting away all electronic devices. I said put them away!
Okay, so before we get started with some of the other stuff, we should talk about some of the big picture on why we made some of the decisions and why we had to make some of the decisions that we made.
JT!
Yes, little girl in car. Hello, who is this?
I'm Cassie.
This is Cassie. What are you here to tell us, little girl, little Cassie in the Tesla?
I'm here to tell you why we're doing this project in the dang first place.
Which is?
Well, our project is to create a modular system for autonomy. Our system can be placed on other cars with different dimensions to make that car autonomous.
Whoa!
So that means that you sir, right there.
Are you talking about me?
Yes.
Whoa!
You don't have to go out and sell your car and buy a brand new one.
I don't have to spend another $35,000 or $85,000 or $160,000 to buy a brand new Tesla car?
You do not.
Whoa!
You do not, sir.
That's
No.
amazing.
You can keep your car. And you know what's even better?
What's better than that?
That reduces the carbon footprint and helps save our wonderful planet Earth.
I love reducing my carbon footprint.
Not that footprint, JC.
Oh.
Not that one. No.
Step 1, acquire off-road vehicle. Step 2, make off-road vehicle autonomous. Step 3, question mark, question mark, question mark. Step 4, profit.
Okay, but seriously, whenever you build a robot, as most of you probably know, you gotta have three parts, right? You have the mechanical, you have the electrical, and you have the software systems. And so when you're building an autonomous car, as long as you're not building the car on your own, like we're not, you have to modify the car. So that's going to be our mechanical area. And then you got to sort of control that mechanical stuff, and it's going to be a lot of our electrical things. And then you got to figure out how that controlling is going to happen, and that's your software stuff. And that's how basically the 1, 2, 3 and how things are going to happen. And so let's go a little bit in depth on what those modifications are.
Hello, and welcome to Professor Wallanen's geometry class. We take this rectangle, we can use it to model our cart. And what this allows us to do is get an accurate representation of what all of our various sensors that we're outfitting the cart with can see. So primarily we have a LiDAR. The LiDAR can see an effective 80 meter radius around the cart, and it returns point cloud information of a lot of dots. It's very detailed and very in-depth, so it can still give a general shape of like, oh, there's an object over here, there's something over here. It doesn't tell us what they are, but it tells us the general concept of where their obstacles are. So although the LiDAR can see all the way around it, it does have some blind spots on the lower portion of the cart. So what we're ending up doing is we're also equipping the cart with 4 ultrasonic sensors, 3 on the back and 1 on the front. Now that's in terms of our vision sensing to allow the car to know what's around it, but the cart also needs to know where it is. So it's being equipped with an IMU and GPS in its center, so that way it always knows its global position relative to the world.
So, mechanical things, right? You gotta do the 3 main things, which is steering and braking and acceleration, right? Because that's what you do when you sit in the car. So basically what we're doing is replacing you. That's what we're doing. So we've already got the brake attached to the car, right? If you look at this here, this whole thing was not there before, and this is custom, this is something we put. Aside from, so here's the braking, these metal bits right here are new and wonderful and newfangled, and this is how it works. See, if this motor will extend out and go boop, it'll push that, and it'll come back. Just like that. Nice and easy and simple. For steering, right? As I've explained a few times before, we got this window motor, and that's gonna control the steering, as you know, with the whole steering block and everything like that. That might change soon because we might have it. We might be able to put it instead of this in this section, just cut it straight in.
What have you done, Lan?
What have I done? What have I done?
What have you done? What are we doing CS-wise for the car? What's the plan?
So, we have this camera, and in the future, we will have the LiDAR.
we have two cameras, and it will choose a different perspective from each camera. And by comparing feature points on each frame and each left and right image, we can know exactly where we are in the world and all the points around us. We can create a virtual 3D point cloud of the map. It's a map of the world, and we can use this map to navigate. If you want to zoom into the screen, you can see, here's what we see in the world, and here is the map. It's a 3D representation of the world. We're gonna put that into a grid, and we can see where it's occupied, where it's not when we go to the free space, where there are roads.
Because that's how you normally drive, right?
Yes,
Right,
we don't
man?
run over children.
Hey Cooper, what are you doing?
You told me how to tell them about the ground, JT.
It's not.
This guy.
Oh, you
It's not what Cooper. It's not. It's not what I meant, Cooper. It's not.
Oh, the car ground?
Cooper. Yeah.
I can do that too. I am a professional. So, when dealing with several different systems, it's really important electrically to have a common ground.
Are you ready to learn? I am. Okay, so this thing here, that's our computer. It looks empty because it is, but there will be a computer here. And this thing here, these are our controllers. So how does this work? Let's imagine you're flying to Hawaii and you're trying not to crash. And when you look out the window, you have that dude with his fancy lights directing controls. Well, let's imagine that this computer here, which doesn't exist but will exist eventually, is sending commands to this master really quickly. Well, this master is a very lazy student. And this very lazy student has paid other students to do his work for him or her. So then, these commands are sent here. This guy distributes those commands here because it's lazy. And these guys control the throttle, or the throttle, the brakes, the thing that makes the car stop, and the steering, the thing that makes the car turn. Now these signals get sent through this board and this board, get, signal processing, op-amps, diodes, electricity, and then they get sent here, and then the things go. But we're an FTP team, right? And we like to push the boundaries of what's possible for students to accomplish with a lot of caffeine. So for that, we are proud to introduce Mind Control version 1. Actually, it's like version 6 because version 1 nearly killed me. But version 6 seems to be working pretty well. So let's give it a shot. I'm gonna close my eyes, count to 10 internally, and the car should just move forward. So let's give it a shot. Closing my eyes. So that's pretty cool. But let's say I want to apply the brakes now. Do the same thing. Close my eyes and count to 10. And the brakes just go, because I guess I was thinking about it as I was talking, and that's just fine because science and neuroscience and psychology. I'm not a doctor. I'm an engineer.
So, Spark Party.